This is Annie Fox for Family Confidential, Secrets of Successful Parenting. My guest today is Dr. Ann Paris. Dr. Paris is a clinical psychologist and an empathy expert. She's also the author of the new children's picture book series, The Empathy Way. Hi, Ann. Welcome to Family Confidential.
Hi, Annie. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it is my pleasure. I'm so glad we connected on Twitter because when I heard about your books and your series, The Empathy Way, I'm thinking, I need to talk to this person because empathy is, I've been working with girls and friendship drama, and I see so much of the behavior that they dish out to one another is what I call empathy deficit disorder behavior or mean girl disease. It's like, what is going on here? And so I was really grateful that you sent me the books. I had an opportunity to read through them, and I thought, okay, great, let's start with little kids. And maybe if we can help them build some understanding about what empathy is, how to deal with emotions when they get out of whack, so that we can behave more kindly towards one another.
Yes.
So thanks for writing the books, and please tell me straight up, what gave you the inspiration to write them?
Well, empathy has been kind of the center of my training for 30 years, and I come from a theoretical perspective that really places empathy at the heart of not only human relationships, but also growth and development. And I've also had a fascination with apes and have had opportunities to work with them, and was just amazed at how empathic they were with each other. So I had really ideally hoped to combine those two, apes and empathy, and then I stumbled across a woman, Marian Brickner, who just took these stunning photographs
They are
of
amazing.
bonobos interacting with each other, and the emotional lives that the individuals had. And so she and I connected and thought, let's
Put it
do
together.
a kids book about this. And
Well,
so,
maybe we should start off by actually defining empathy because, simple way it's like kindness, do unto others. Is it that or is it there more than that?
well, it's more than that. And I think a lot of people do think that it's just being nice, but it's really trying to put yourself in another person's shoes, in their position, and try to imagine what that feels like for them. And then beyond that, it's trying to see the sense in what they're thinking or feeling or doing, and how it
Ah, th-
makes
yeah,
sense.
that second part,
Yes.
really, really important. And I think for most of us, when we feel attacked or intimidated, and I was just finished reading You Scared Me, which is one of the books, and I really love that because I've been thinking a lot about how people use and abuse power in relationships. The idea when we're attacked, we retreat or attack back. I think we're kind of wired that way, but to actually stop and pause and try to understand where the other person's coming from. Wow, is this like maybe too much for a 5-year-old to be expected to
I
do?
think I think that usually if you're being attacked, even for an adult, it's very hard to find an empathic position with the attacker, and that often it may not be you that can empathize with what they're going through, but someone else who's, not being attacked can step in and try to make sense of the other person's behavior. But ideally, I mean, if we can do that, it's really a way to melt the anger in the other person if you can
Yeah.
identify with where they're coming from, and how it makes sense. Again, from their perspective, you don't have to agree, and you may have a very different perspective, but to take that time out and really try to understand from the other person's position can be a powerful intervention to stop the behavior.
And now I really love the model that you use in the books, where when the younger bonobos are having, relational problems, they often, retreat. They go talk with a parent, and that parent helps them kind of deconstruct what happened and ask some really nice open-ended questions. So, I'm not taking too much of a leap, stop me if I am, that this is modeling for parents who might be reading this book, that these are ways that you can work with your own children.
Yes, that was our hope, was that not only could kids resonate and identify with the feelings and see that their feelings, weren't unusual and that others have the same feelings and reactions, but also to give some parents some tips and ideas about how to respond in those difficult situations.
Yeah, I think for parents in the home, often there may be things going on between siblings. And especially for parents who've seen this kind of sibling stuff going on again and again, sometimes we lose our patience. And we're not always the best mentors, the best guides through this empathetic way when we are also just fed up with it. You kids are fighting again. Go to your rooms. And in those kinds of situations, what do you recommend?
Well, I think that, that brings up the idea of, that there are times when it's very difficult to empathize and to be aware of, what those times are for yourself and to, step back, take a break if you need it, um, ask someone else to intervene again. Um, there are different feelings that are often difficult to empathize with. If someone's attacking you, if you've feel guilty about, causing your child pain or frustration, it's difficult then to stay with their frustration and
Mm.
try to understand that
Tell me
further.
more about that.
Oh, say if, the kid says, I want this toy.
Right
And
now, Mom, I want it
right
right now.
and,
And
and
it's getting to the holiday time, lots of commercials on TV, and so you're probably going to see this kind of behavior. Oh, I want that now.
yes. And, for whatever reason, we can't get that for you. I think, the inclination might be to say, no, we you can't have that, versus, um, wow, I can see why you'd like that. It's a pretty cool toy. And to empathize with the child's feeling often is what they really need. And then they can handle frustration much better. And you can then say, I wish you could have this, but we
Wow.
can't afford
Okay,
that.
well, I just had like an insight here. I can imagine the kid pressing against the parents' resistance and getting more and more frustrated. They saying, I want it. Parent says no, and the shouting gets escalated. But to have the parents say, wow, yeah, that's a really cool toy. I understand why you want it. All of a sudden, I feel like, ah,
Yeah,
she
we're
gets it.
we're together, and we're dealing with the reality that's out there, and the child can usually
Wow.
deal with that much
That's
easier.
so cool, Anne. It seems like, kind of a pretty easy thing to do, except that awareness to stop fighting and that to take the leadership role as a parent isn't always so easy, especially as I say, maybe you've had it up to here for the day. But
Right.
something
Right.
else you said I want to get back to, which is to be aware of, essentially, as I would say, which situations frustrate you.
Yes.
Here you are, and it's 6:30. You've had a long day. You've picked up your kid from childcare. You're both hungry. You want to get home, and there's that impulse item at the checkout stand. And if you,
Yes.
as mom or dad, know that this is one of those situations, you actually have put it on a list, then I
Yes.
would think maybe you're better able to deal with it in a
Yeah.
more effective way.
Anticipate it. And another thing that I think that we as parents and even teachers hesitate to do is to insert our own needs.
Ah,
It's easier to, like in that example, that you know, that we feel like you shouldn't want that, or you shouldn't be asking for that right now, versus um, owning our own limits and saying, you know what, I'm really tired right now, and I really can't think about this right now.
mm-hmm.
It's owning my own needs, and I need for us to talk about this at another time.
That sounds like it might work with an older child. more readily than a younger child, the idea of saying, mommy's tired right now too. Um,
I was surprised, though, really how young kids even can
ah,
respond. It gives them a chance to respond empathically to you. When you're
lovely.
not blaming them or saying what they're feeling or behaving is wrong, but that you need something different. They don't feel attacked or they don't feel controlled, but that they're freed up then to start to put themselves in your shoes. And that's really, the beginning of building empathy in children is giving them the opportunity to respond to you too.
Oh,
And,
that's yeah,
parents,
that's wonderful. It's a give and take, and it invites a richness into a parent-child relationship that I think is often missing, where parents are not willing to show any vulnerability.
yeah, and even feel, as parents, I think our society has taught us that we shouldn't ask things of our children,
Mm.
that that's wrong and that's burdening them. And I think, then it limits, though, how much we can be ourselves and have our own needs. And that's the real world, and that's the world that our children are going to be dealing with. So the earlier we start with that, I think, the better and the more deeply it can become a natural part of their experience and expectation that other people have needs too that they need to respond to.
I'm thinking about in terms of creating and maintaining healthy relationships. I mean, if you don't have this empathy piece, you're really not going to get very far in any relationship. There may be the beginning part, and then as soon as someone has some needs or there's some kind of a conflict, you may not know how to deal with it and shut down or push them away. And
Or it just becomes this power struggle
yeah,
and an impasse, that no problem solving can happen until each person feels understood in their perspective and that their perspective is reasonable. That it's not, you know, you I understand how you feel and it's wrong or it's stupid. I can, it makes sense that you would feel that given this. And I feel something different, and it really does allow for problem solving then to come out of that.
so tell me, we only have a couple minutes left, but I'm really interested in knowing how the empathy ways you've outlined it and demonstrated in this wonderful series of books is different from other character development programs that might be going on in elementary schools and in middle schools and higher.
Oh, I think that there's a real experiential piece in seeing the photographs, and it's one reason why we made print books more than video ebooks, because there's something about immersing with the photographs and really seeing the feelings there, and that makes it it's not just being taught to you, it's you're feeling it and that it seeps into your heart and that it goes beyond just telling kids not to bully or you should be nice or but that you can really live it and feel it. And I think even adults can uh,
Yeah.
these
I,
photographs.
I think that they are very affecting photos, and we'll be showing them throughout this podcast as we're talking about them. Um, I love the fact that we can connect with these apes, and the language that you've accompanied the photos with is very, it's simple, and yet it feels very real in terms of when the characters in the book describe how they're feeling when something happens to them. And I think the idea of the parent or teacher's guide that goes with it also gives a lot of opportunity for adults working with kids to really explore these kinds of things, because I'm pretty sure in every family and in every classroom these kinds of situations happen, oh, many times during the day,
Moment
right?
after moment after moment. Yes,
Every
yes,
moment. So it's not some kind of abstract thing,
yes.
and that there are two sides to every conflict. There's me and my feelings, and you and your feelings. And if I can have some understanding of why you behave the way you did, I can also understand why I behaved the way I did, and maybe we could calm down and talk about it.
Yes. I guess as a final point, I'd like to say that empathy is a very powerful intervention. And I think that a lot of parents, teachers, adults feel like they should do something, and that having empathy is not doing something, that they should be directing or controlling or taking charge of situations, when really, empathy is a powerful intervention, and it can soothe and strengthen and really bring people to their best in thinking and clarity. And I think to understand and recognize that giving an empathic response is doing something very powerful.
And we can start doing that more often, and it becomes more the natural go-to place when we're
Yes.
feeling that way. You calm down and then you think, okay, instead of a counterattack, how might I respond more empathetically? And I loved what you said earlier about empathy having the ability to melt away those angry feelings. It's true. It's
Yes,
absolutely,
sadness and anything.
it's pretty amazing. Well, thank you so much, Anne. I really appreciate this conversation, especially in light of the fact that of the work that I do, and kind of the zeitgeist about what's going on online, and the acceleration of people's kind of nasty behavior. This is a welcome respite from that, and actually it is a powerful tool. So I want parents and teachers to think about bringing more of this into their teaching. Before we sign off, can you please give us a website where we could find out more about your work?
Sure. The Empathy Way series is www.empathyway.com. I've also got a personal website, www.anneparis.com, and that's ANNEPARIS.
We'll always have Paris.
Yes.
It's great. Well, thank you again for the work you do and for being with us today, Anne. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
This is Annie Fox for Family Confidential. To learn more about my work with parents, tweens, and teens, visit anniefox.com. Check out my new book, The Girls Q&A Book on Friendship, 50 Ways to Fix a Friendship Without the Drama. It's now available in print and for Kindle. What a perfect holiday gift for the 8 to 12-year-old girl in your life. She really wants nothing more than to feel confident dealing with friendship issues, and the Girls Q&A Book on Friendship can absolutely help with that. Family Confidential podcast is produced by Electric Eggplant, creators of books and apps for parents, kids, tweens, and teens. Next week is Christmas, and we won't be in the studio, but we will be rebroadcasting one of our most popular podcasts, my interview with Dr. Deborah Gilboa, aka Dr. G. Dr. G and I will be talking about raising resilient kids. Until then, happy parenting and happy holidays.